मतलब आई रफली 720 के आसपास तो वाइल पीपल आर मोस्ट
हमारे साथ बैठे शेयर पुल कर So life is virtually NEXTGEN. Initial time 4 years motivation रहता है कर लेंगे but 4 years down the track बहुत बढ़ता जाता है. Last 4 months 4 both सुबह 1.5 घंटे लग जाते थे वहाँ से 2.5 सेशन पर्सनल हाई स्ट्रेस फिर वहाँ पे भी तो 9 घंटे काम वो सस्टेनेबल काम भी करना पड़ता है बट मेंटल स्ट्रेस इतना होता था अरे अब जाना है भाई घंटे काम में सो आई थिंक आई एम सो हैप्पी
इसका
तुम्हारा
कौन बोला है?
सुहे भी बोल रहा था
नहीं भाई तो मैं दोस्त कौन नहीं
अरे यार
सपना तुम्हारे पेपर
मैंने उसको कॉल किया एक दिन ही बस टेलिंग अबाउट इट तब बोला कि अच्छा चल रहा है जो तुम मेनली ट्रांजेक्शन मेरा 1 साल का है बट क्वालिटी में था
पहली बार मैसेज देगा मैं तो 1 महीना पहले भेजा मैं नाम
और कौन आ रहा है सुहेब आ रहा है कहाँ से आ रहा है
तो हमने मॉडिफाई करके आने का
इतना
फ्लैट पे गए थे वहाँ से मार कैसे लेंगे
आज मैं जेल में
He went for again a formula type
like looking at
उसको रास्ता बनाना है मैंने देखा
Why not?
you are live now.
If I go.
मेरे को गुड़गांव वाले सब खुश लग रहे हैं आज ज़्यादा ट्रैवलिंग मैं भी खुश लग रहा हूँ 2 साल में 4-6 दिन उसका इलाज नहीं अभी पुष्पन के बीच ट्रांजैक्शंस इसकी पर्सनैलिटी
Corporate guy.
Alice इनफैक्ट तुम लोग सब जब कैजुअल्स में यूनिवर्सिटी में पहुंचते हो डिफरेंट टू नाउ
Thank you very much for joining in for today's evening. May I please request everyone to settle down, please. People who might be outside in the pre-function area, may I request you to please settle down inside. So thank you very much for joining in today, and I see that there is a wonderful mix of participation here. And now we are working in this direction as a Matrix, which is one of our community platform, trying to give an opportunity to young professionals and senior professionals, members, to work in a cohesive ecosystem so that we can learn from each other and we can get the mentorship, the guidance and the direction which is required when we start our career early or when we are working probably down the line and trying to shape up the direction. So when we start, the challenge is that we have multiple options, and with these options there is always a confusion. We do not have a clarity where to move out, and if in that space, if we have someone who is there to guide us, who might have walked all those paths and know where we is where we stand right, where our passion and skills are aligned. That is a wonderful way wherein we can actually get to in the right direction and probably outperform in that area. So to be able to facilitate that, today's session is something that will help you in this direction. And without further delay, I would like to call upon Mr. Ashwini Awasthi, who is the Managing Director for RICS South Asia, to be able to open the session and welcome you all with all the updates. Thank you.
Thank you, Nitin, and good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you. Good to see a lot of SB crowd here. Nitin gave a brief introduction to why we are here and what we are doing here. So, as you see here, what it says is Matrix Next Generation. So RICS, as you all know, is primarily responsible and also aiming at making the positive impact in the built environment sector. And this they cannot achieve without the next generation professionals. And just in order to have the next generation involved. That's something which we are introducing today. So before we get to that, I know a lot of you are here aware of RICS, but still for those who don't know, a brief about RICS. It's a leading global professional body in the field of land, property and construction, together what we call as built environment, established in 1868, governed by a royal charter which mandates it to work in public interest, has 135,000 members across 148 countries, and is a leading standard setting body globally. Now, when we talk about India, it works on 5 main principles. The focus is firstly the RICS qualification. Both being a member and a fellow of RICS is one of the most preeminent qualification in the built environment space. Then we focus on capacity enhancement, which is primarily helping the working professionals upgrade their skills, or also the members with their continuous professional development so that they remain relevant in the profession, and for the organization they can bring in more efficiency. Then our focus is on the thought leadership. So thought leadership, we have multiple events, conferences, workshops, seminars, which focus on the key issues or the burning issues that are there in the industry, which may be relating to the skills shortage, which may be relating to the new technology that is creating disruption, or which may be focusing on sustainable practices that we need in the profession. So we are creating a lot of content on that in the form of measurement. Then we have Red Book for valuations, we have ICMS for construction measurement, we have Black Book, then we have the new standard which is launched, which is the whole life carbon assessment standard. So there are a whole lot of international standards which are adopted by different organizations and governments globally. And the last one is the focus on the sustainability and net zero. As you all know, the times we are living in, sustainability is not something which is a kind of a goal or a target. It is something which is a necessity. So we need to focus on sustainability, we need to focus on net zero, so as to ensure that the future generations are not deprived of what we are enjoying today. So coming on to, I'll give a short update, just brief before that. So some of you who've been continuously associated with RICS would have seen a bit of a dip post-COVID, wherein we were not as active in the market because of one, obviously there was nothing happening in the physical format, and also the issue of the internal issue that we were dealing with, which led to more of senior leadership changes and all that, and which kind of took us a bit of time to come out, and then we started our physical activities. So effective beginning of last year, we conducting large number of activities, primarily focused at knowledge sharing, focused at the networking and other related activities. So all these activities and events, from small events like breakfast networking events to industry engagement events, to we had something called partnership events with the industry, which were joint events. These were all smaller size events, like this size, maybe anything between 50, 60 to 80, 100. Then we have large format, which is conferences, which are our flagship conferences, which we have been doing regularly. One on CRE and FM, the other one on housing, and the third one on construction. This year we also added a conference in real estate investment, and next year, which won't be a recurring one, but next year we are also doing a conference on, international conference on valuation, which would also be attended by all the senior leadership of IBSC and the members of IBSC. In addition to that, we do awards, annual awards. So South Asia Awards, we host these awards to recognize the talent, both individuals as well as organizations that are doing some great jobs in our field. So these are some of the events and activities that we are doing. I'll just check we're not missing anything. Yeah. So one more thing which we have launched, but it is still in a stage of evolution. So that is the dispute resolution service. So which we had launched during this year, and now we are looking at kind of taking that forward. So this is all about the update and events and activities. One of the things which I kind of list out here is the activity that we are calling as early engagement. So this is an activity wherein we are going to various colleges and universities and creating awareness about the career prospects in built environment, why students should choose built environment as their career, because as some of the research reports and some of the other research that has been done states that a number of or large part of the core engineering students or even architecture students, so to say, they are not going into the core built environment jobs. They are moving into IT or finance or doing a lateral movement. They are not in the core job. So we're just going and creating awareness so that there is a continuous pipeline that can feed the sector. There are continuous flow of professionals who can continuously serve the sector. So today we're talking about Matrix, and RICS globally calls it Matrix, but just here, in order for you to understand what Matrix is, because it's not something which is very self-explanatory, so we've added NEXTGEN to it. So definitely that means it is connected to the next generation. So when all of you started your careers, so something you all would have encountered is like when you were wanting some kind of a support, whether it's a professional support for what should you do as far as to build a successful career. Even I would take a step back. So people who are in real estate especially, they are dealing with multiple pathways, whether it is in valuation, whether it's corporate real estate, residential, commercial. So when I join on a certain pathway, as a student, I may have thought that valuation is the nicest job and is the best profile for me. So that's where I should start my career with. But what happens is, after maybe serving for 6 months, 1 year, or 1.5 years, you find that that's not something which you were looking at. So maybe transactions or those kind of roles were something which you were looking at, or maybe something else. So who is there to guide you? So with all due respect, in these organizations, while we have the entire chain of command and we have all sorts of people there who can help you, but with the kind of work that is flowing in, people don't have time, people don't have enough bandwidth to spend time with you, help you, guide you, and not only professionally, there are times when you need some personal support as well, because you moved in from X place, come into a Y place, you're living alone, or whatever, you are a newcomer to that area. And these are the challenges which are there as an early career professional. But there is a lack of guidance, right? There is a definitive need which we felt that was this kind of a guidance is needed. So RICS globally does do something like this, and that's what is called Matrix, wherein these early career professionals are supported by people who've been senior in the industry, who can act as mentors, who can act as guide, who can help you chart your way during this period, right? So what is Matrix? So it's a community of early career professionals, right, who can come together in social events or other events where you can have knowledge sharing, where you can have networking, where you can have professional development. Multiple of these things can happen, right? So when we talk about the goal of Matrix, so it is primarily again to empower the next generation of built environment professionals, providing comprehensive support, promoting inclusivity, ensuring that they are well equipped to lead and innovate in a rapidly evolving environment. So we need support in this. So given all this as a background, so, and as I said that internationally we had been doing this, and I will also talk about the core objectives. So we thought of creating a platform in India as well, which would be a future leaders platform, which can help you network, which can help you provide the learning, which can help you understand and promote the career choices in the sector, which can build that trust and confidence, the much needed trust and confidence and professionalism that is required in our sector. So this is how we kind of went around it, and that's why we are here. So this is today the first chapter. So what we have decided is to launch chapters. So this is a chapter which is a chapter for Delhi NCR. So similarly, we will be launching these chapters in Bangalore, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Chennai, Pune, and so on and so forth. Basically, to engage with the professionals, early or next generation professionals, so as to make a meaningful contribution, right? So I'll quickly I'll mention about. So I mentioned about the international matrix that we are running. So I'll quickly run a couple of minutes video for you to understand what Matrix is all about and what it is doing internationally. It is also creating an opportunity for you to network internationally as well. So here is a video for you.
Matrix is absolutely vital to RICS. It's the method by which people who are early in their careers can influence RICS and influence the profession. But equally, RICS can then help develop the next generation of leaders who are going to be globally active in our sector.
Through a tailored programme of initiatives, we hope to support professional development, inclusivity and innovation. This typically looks like networking events, candidate support, early engagement, site visits and CPDs.
RICS Matrix has been fantastic for me because it's opened up so many more opportunities than have otherwise been available.
I can honestly say that without RICS Matrix, I don't think I'd have the skills and the confidence that I've got today.
I love spending time with great people. I've met so many role models and people who I can really look up to.
Matrix is a really exciting part of the RICS. It's not only giving a voice to young people at the early stages of their career and helping them to influence the profession, but it's also training our leaders of tomorrow.
RICS Matrix is the one place where you can find students, graduate surveyors and post-qualified surveyors.
One of my first involvements with the RICS Matrix was actually through the APC. This was talking about the workshops and what to expect in the interview, going over different competencies, and it was just a total sort of catch-all really of everything that you can expect.
Students are able to use Matrix to help them with their studies, so through dissertations and coursework, and just getting that real-world perspective.
Matrix is important to me because it's allowed me to develop my network. Because I strongly believe in this industry, it's not just about what you know, but it's about who you know.
Business is all about trust, and through Matrix you get to know people, you get to build trust.
Through RICS Matrix, I was given the opportunity to become a STEM ambassador. Off the back of that, I was able then to go into schools and deliver the RICS Inspire workshops. It's given me an opportunity to begin to give something back.
It's allowed me to really have a profession-wide influence and perspective, which has been something that I can't really get in the workplace. It's empowered me to make me feel as though I can actually make an impact. I'm not just another apprentice or another surveyor.
People from Matrix are really key. What they bring is a unique and a very different perspective. That's really important when we feed it in at senior levels within RICS.
I wouldn't be where I am today without the RICS Matrix.
The best people you'll meet in the industry are at Matrix.
Get involved in Matrix. It really starts your surveying journey off by building the friendships and networks that will be with you for the rest of your life.
Okay, so that was about the how Matrix is running internationally and how people are benefiting out of that. So coming back to India, so while we are kind of introducing Matrix today, but it's not something which is new because we've been carrying out some similar activity wherein we've been engaging with some of you here. Nitin is somebody who's been continuously engaging, and we are kind of building up towards it. So while we are formally introducing it today, but if you see, there have been some interviews with some of you, some kind of discussions, some small sessions where some expert has been called in for some knowledge sharing, or some other sessions wherein some career counseling and other thing which has been done. But now it is being launched formally. So when we talk about it launching or introducing it formally, so what we expect is that each of these markets, when we go, we introduce these matrix chapters, and we expect each of these regions or each of these markets to run them independently. RICS will provide support, RICS will help you, some of you will have to take lead in this, and then thereafter basically create opportunities wherein all of you can network, all of you can kind of organize knowledge sharing session. RICS will always be there to support you. So initial days we'll do a little bit more of hand holding there, but going forward then we can let you independently drive it, right? It also helps you kind of with your leadership skills, all of those who are basically leading them in different markets and different regions, right? So again, something I would like to really, I feel proud and like to share that with you, that as I mentioned with you earlier, that we also have introduced RICS South Asia Awards, and these awards, when we talk about Matrix, internationally Matrix runs parallelly separate awards, and these awards are basically focusing on various activities of Matrix members, right, which are RICS members, but they are also Matrix members, all early career professionals or young professionals. So we also added this category this time to the South Asia Award, and I'm very happy to share that in the first award this year, we had two of our alumni from SV who received this award, and that's the award 2 weeks back we handed it over. The RICS President Tina Pai and Sanjay Dutt, who's the MD and CEO for Tata Realty and Infrastructure, and is also our chair of South Asia Board, along with me. So we handed over these awards, and definitely we have, I can see Shashank here, so Shashank, you could please come up on the stage. Sri Charan is also here, I'm told. Where is he? Oh, you're at the back. You also come up. So we'll just try to once again acknowledge and congratulate them with the great work you guys are doing. Thank you so much. Just a minute. Okay, thank you. Come, Richard. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, as I said, so it's a community that we are developing where all of you, all young professionals can engage for create some mutually benefiting opportunities, and this will be created in multiple geographies, and you as members can benefit out of this. So primarily that was all from my side, and so here we are kind of introducing the Matrix NEXTGEN Delhi NCR chapter. That's a QR code, you can scan that. I'm sure Nitin, it's available somewhere else as well. So okay, it's available on your tables as well. You can scan that, and there's a tent card on each of your table. You can scan that and basically join the RICS Matrix. I would encourage you for your benefit and for helping the profession, and that's a kind of an initiative from RICS side to kind of support the next generation professionals. So now we, from here on, we move on to our next event and activity for the evening, and that's the panel discussion on accelerated growth for future leaders. And this is a panel where the members would discuss about the challenges that the early career professionals face, how they can have a fast track growth, or how the professional relationships during the journey can help them grow at a much faster pace than they otherwise would. So to do the honors, I think I would request Mr. Satish Bajaj, who would kindly consented to moderate the session, to please come up on the stage. And invite the fellow panelists. Thank you. Thank you. I think there are two chairs, so we let the panelists and the panelists. So you can come here.
Hi, good evening. I think I'm quite loud now. So, a lot has been covered by Ashwini as well as Nitin also. They've covered a lot of factors, giving you all an idea about what RICS Matrix is going to be. And I could see a couple of my points also being covered by him in it. So maybe I'm sure other panelists also will realize that there is something being discussed. But practically we will be taking into account what exactly has been the journey of the RICS members as such, so that you will be able to get an opportunity to understand what exactly has to go forward from your side to make RICS more appropriate within the Indian conditions itself, and also make it more prominent as such. We have very old hands on RICS. Probably Archana has been handling memberships for ages. So there are a lot of people who can guide you in this room itself. But at this particular point of time, I would like to invite on a stage my two fellow panelists. Sachin Gulati, who is already here. Please, Sachin, please come. And We also have Sakshi Sikri, who is with Cushman. She is the Senior Director with Cushman in the valuations domain. Please, Sakshi, please come. You know, I have a very bad habit of floating around because I have been taking classes for almost 9 years, and I used to float around in my classes also. A lot of students also here will probably realize, so please don't mind if I'm not just standing like Ashwini over here itself, so at the podium. So I'll probably float around the place and talk, and then probably look at them also, so a lot of things will happen. So okay, yeah. So as we've all gone through the RICS memberships since its inception into India itself, I have also been part of the institute. So we have seen the journey, how academics has played a very vital and important role in bringing up professionalism, and as well as very different quality people within the profession itself. So wonderful, and we'll also, and I'm sure our panelists sitting over here also will bear me out on this particular point. They've had, Sakshi also had a couple of our students who she has mentored and who have worked with her. Sachin also has had a lot of, you can say, hands-on experience with our members, I would say. His interaction with members in a lot of RICS conferences, so he understands what exactly goes into the memberships and what exactly is almost there. So just to start, I'll probably give Sakshi the opportunity of being a lady, so ladies first, so probably I'll give her the opportunity of interacting first. Sakshi, just wanted to understand, what was your journey when you talked about, you can say, when we are talking about, you can say, the real estate journey? How did it happen with you?
Yeah, so I would say that it was not planned at all. I mean, DLF was my first job. I got landed there. And when I joined there, it was maybe the peak of real estate. I joined DLF in 2006. That was the time when IPOs were happening, and DLF had the IPO, and after that they were preparing themselves for the REIT in Singapore. It didn't happen, but this is how I connected with real estate. That was the time when it was on its peak, giving a lot of opportunities, a great learning. I mean, the sector in itself had not evolved like it is today. Information was still like a piece which was not readily available in the market. There were a lot of stones which were there to be turned. A lot of things to be learned around, and when you're preparing yourself to go into a thing like REIT, what all things are required to be done. A big thing required for that was valuation, which was one part of it. But yes, it was not a planned activity, it was by chance, but I was fortunate enough to get to that sector at that point in time, because that was the right time. And I would say that again the time has come, and it is the right time to be in this space. I mean, this is one of these are the years which are the best years for real estate now, I can say. So yeah, this is how I landed in
the valuation.
In the real estate, and then in the valuation.
Yeah, Sachin, over to you. What is your take on this?
Okay, so my journey was slightly different to begin with, because my professional basis, my first degree and everything, was actually aligned towards the real estate domain. But real estate at that point of time was only one option. And this is way back in around 2000, 2002, 2005. And at that point of time, there was not too much information like we had today. I mean, it's pretty much, people have a lot of information to take decisions today. So at that point of time, continuing from a normal trajectory, I went into research first, and then decided to take on the dimension of real estate when I first stepped into the companies. This is like almost after 6-7 years of experience as a professional before I stepped into the real estate industry way back in 2005. So at that point of time, when I decided, okay, now I wanted to look at see how does this industry go, because it was at that point of time also flouted as a sunrise sector. So at that point of time, there was a lot of options available to me at that time, because the industry had not grown so much. You had the option of going into a number of verticals. I mean, you could go into capital markets, you could go into leasing, you could go into, facility management, I believe came slightly later, but I mean, project management, the other aspects as well. I mean, research was there. So at that point of time, I said, okay, let me first see what happens in every place, and then decide where I think I'll probably fit in best. Well, I can try and start a new domain, I can probably turn it to a starting part of a career. So you probably turn that piece out. But then after having looked at all the verticals, I said, okay, maybe my skill sets are in this direction and maybe suited to me. I mean, other people have different skill sets, they can take it to a different level. But my dimension at that point of time came and said, okay, valuations, I can do a bit of everything I want to do in this, because I will understand what commercial real estate is about, what retail sector is all about, what is residential sector moving with, how are land prices moving, and then end of the day, all banking, financial institutions require valuations. So I thought that probably that gives me the largest canvas to play with, which is why I thought, okay, let me try this piece and see what happens from that viewpoint of time.
So that's a fantastic input on it. Thank you, Sachin. What you're trying to tell me and what Sakshi is trying to tell me, that you were not confused in your mind. Your focus was very clear and you had basically understood what exactly you wanted, and that's how you basically...
Actually, it came out after... there was confusion, definitely. It's not that it came out very clearly at the first stage itself. There was confusion, but for that I decided to look at various aspects and explore for myself. I think in the initial phase, we need to explore a bit and see where you think we fit best.
So, do you think that still there are people who would be a little confused in terms of finding out what kind of domain they want to enter into? I'm sure, I just take a second over here. I think, Shashank, you started with valuation, if I'm right? So imagine Shashank started when he passed out, he probably started with valuation, and then today he moved into a segment which is completely different, which is a pure marketing segment itself. So there are certain times when it happens. Sorry, coming back to you.
No, completely agree with you. So that is what I'm saying. I mean, there are times you take time to discover yourself as a professional. It's not that it happens overnight. You will find someday you will be tempted, okay, capital markets is a great field to go into. There is obviously, I would like to do a lot of leasing, I like to interact with all the big players in the market. Facility management is a great emerging domain. But end of the day, where you're comfortable with, which you think will be your growth role. So the important thing is to define and understand. All of us are going to be playing roles in life going forward. Whether it is at this stage, when you were junior, when you're moving in the industry, when you reach a manager level, when you reach to leadership level. There are roles everyone plays, even if you're part of an organization, or you own the organization yourself as well. So it all depends on what role you're going to be playing in different stages of careers of your life. And there's no hard and fast rule. You really cannot fix it and say, okay, no, this is the way it's got to happen. I've planned it out all the way till I'm 70 years old. It doesn't happen that way.
And I would say kids these days are much more smarter. I would say today, when you see that a lot of kids choosing RICS as a professional course that they want to be in, they know that I want to be in this sector. Real estate is something that they understand, they already resonate with it, they want to be in that sector. Then choosing that I want valuation, or I want to be marketing or leasing or facility management is the choice that they may take eventually. But they know that this is the path I'm trying to follow, and I want to start with this, and maybe after 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, I want to be here. So yes, they have developed this side and they're much more smarter now, I would say. Little less confused than what we were.
I agree with you completely, Sakshi.
Yeah.
So both obviously Sachin and Sakshi would have been, you can say, in their profession ages back, even before when RICS came over. Probably at that time, RICS would not have so much of presence in India itself. How were you able to find yourself as alone in the whole system? Like today we see a lot of RICS mentors available to us. How was your journey at that particular point of time in terms of somebody guiding you what exactly you have to do, or was it all your own stuff?
Okay, so this is an interesting piece. My first interaction with RICS happened way back in 2006, if I'm not mistaken, when they first came to India for a scoping exercise. I had the opportunity and the privilege, I think, of having interacted with the RICS president at that time. He had come down here. And at that point of time, I first got exposed to what RICS is. I had no idea before that, to be very honest with you. I did research after that and I said, okay, this is where I need to be a part of. I was very clear once I read and went through everything that they were doing. It took time for RICS, I think, to get established in India, 2010, if I'm not mistaken. And I was there, part of the first groups that got the MRICS designation or pathway. But at that point of time, I was very clear. And I got lucky, I think, there. But having said that, apart from RICS, there was nothing that was available that allowed us to get insights into what was happening in the world. To be very honest, it was almost like being ducks in a pond. And I mean, frogs in a pond, not even ducks, I would say. But being frogs in a pond, and you could probably just interact with a few people in your own organization to a large extent to see what they were doing, to get some sense of what was happening. So the overall ocean that was there before us was not something that was very clear and available to us at that time. To be very honest, I got lucky, but in spite of that, it still took a route. From 2006 till about 2010, it was a very big challenge. It was not easy to engage with a lot of people. The only chances we got were because we could interact with industry professionals on the client side, where you could get a lot of sense as well. But to see what an industry, your peers, and how the whole ecosystem is going, there was no great clarity at that point of time, to be very honest.
What about you, Sakshi?
So I would say I was not as lucky as Sachin to get into this kind of a system as early as he could. But I would say definitely, I mean, this is a platform where you get to meet like-minded people. It is a good, great platform to talk about the sector in which you are into. People are passionate about this and therefore they are here. It is a great, lot of opportunity and a great platform to basically talk about it, learn about what is happening in the market, and then yes, giving you the right kind of a network and I would again say a platform to basically grow. Yeah.
So MRICS or membership to the professional membership that you get from RICS has been, you can say, a way forward to both Sakshi and Sachin also, and it has helped them professionally also, I'm sure you would have networked with a lot of people in conferences where you find only the members coming over who are part of those conferences, so you get a better opportunity. Did you find some kind of, you can say, professional enmity also at that particular point of time, that there are certain people who are maybe over there in that particular domain, in that particular conference, who are MRICS also, maybe FRICS also? Did you find any kind of a professional enmity also with them?
To be honest, not really. I mean, I'll tell you my first great experience that happened when I was able to engage with everybody from at least the ecosystem, the domain of where we had a lot of professionals just apart from our organization and not just clients, was an RICS conference held way back, I think in 2010, 11 December, I think it was around that time. It was on valuations, I was part of the panel there as well. And at that point of time, it was so great to see that there is so much thought and body of knowledge moving around that you're not aware of.
Yeah.
And that was the time when it became very clear that this networking that we're talking about is actually the essence of our growth. I mean, it is there that is only going to help us grow forward in life. I mean, because there is so much things you can do when you're part of one event, for example, because it opened my eyes to different thought perspectives, different ways of looking at the same thing, and engaging with a lot of other people. There was competition sitting with me, but it was still good fun banter, and it was great. I mean, that way. It was never really, I mean, enmity never came up. It was more like, they were trying to outdo the best, and it was good fun doing it.
So it was more of, you can say, the professional growth that you achieved by being together over there.
Absolutely.
What would you like to say?
Completely agree with Sachin. I mean, this gives you, it's a basically eye-opener for you that so many participants from the industry, yes, your competition is sitting beside you, what kind of growth that they have seen, and the way they basically conduct themselves in a conference and and they talk about what achievements that they have seen in life, etc. So that gives you a lot of motivation and gives you a lot of courage, I would say, to just go ahead with what you are doing, and maybe you are at the right place, and just you need to keep doing what you're doing, and that's right for you. Yeah.
So what would you say, how do you think such kind of platforms which RICS is trying to bring about, like there are breakfast sessions or maybe the evening matrix sessions or conferences, different conferences for different domains, like as Ashwini also mentioned, CRE is there, you have valuation conferences, sometimes you have project management conferences, there are a lot of facilities, CRA conferences also. So all these things, where do you think this leads to in terms of professional relationship?
I mean, I would say these platforms are fantastic in terms of giving a connect again to professionals who are in this sector. It gives a lot of motivation, because here also, as I can see, I mean, there are a lot of young students which are sitting. They would know that what kind of industry they are into, what other players are doing, where they can be. So this is a very good platform. I really enjoy being part of these conferences and these events, because you get to meet your fellow colleagues, your industry participants. So it is a very good initiative which I would say RICS is taking to meet like-minded people, because this is how you talk to them, you network with them, you see what is happening in the industry, and it gives you a lot of opportunities to again grow in whatever you are doing.
True.
Yeah.
I fully accept with Sakshi on this particular matter. Like, I've also been part of various conferences, ages also back. So many years have gone through, we have attended a lot of conferences, and at that time very limited number of conferences used to happen either in Bangalore, Mumbai or in Delhi, those kind of conferences. And we used to have such good participation where people used to travel even from other cities also and come across for these conferences to interact and network with different kinds of people. Fantastic interaction it used to be there. So obviously you all have tremendous amount of opportunity. Thanks to RICS now with all these other programs that they have evolved, with the breakfast session, with the networking sessions and other things which are coming up, you have many more opportunities basically to evolve in this whole situation itself. Now, do you think mentoring is important for becoming an RICS member?
Yeah, I think needing a mentor, I think, is very important. Throughout my past experiences I've gone through, I was lucky and fortunate enough to interact with people in the industry. A mentor is somebody, I mean, being different from a coach. A mentor makes you see and gives you guidance when you're just normally chatting, and you discover your own path. And my most important mentor is the person who's sitting in this room, and that's Dr. Deepak Bajaj here, who's in the industry. And I've, to be very honest, my first of my initial engagements happened, worked with him, and I got to see a different kind of a story, and generally understood that there are a lot of points that need to be learned. It's not just straightforward, and over a period of time you recognize, so I'll just take a couple of minutes here. Anyone, as a professional, as I grew from being a junior level person to becoming a manager, then becoming the head for the valuations vertical, and then looking at a lot of other things, then at 3 different levels you will work with your networking, and which is where a mentor guides you a lot. He lets you and allows you to go, and first advice that I got was to do a lot of networking. And especially, I mean, this is important for the young kids who are going to go and become our future leaders tomorrow. At the organization level, at the level you're going to be networking a lot and you're going to be chatting a lot. But most of it is going to be focused on the work you do in the organization. But your personal networking is something that you now need to grow from there, because then you will suddenly know that you have to use your people skills to get a lot of work done at the management level. Now you're no longer just grinding your nose. You now have to help other people grow around you, and then your people skills come into place, which is where your people network or your peers from different verticals will start kicking in. And when you move to that 3rd level, which is your leadership level, this is where a strategic level of networking comes into play. You see, okay, it's not what am I doing now, it is now more importantly, what should I be doing? Yeah. Because you really don't know, and you have to interact with a lot of people outside your comfort zone. You have to interact with a lot of people and hope, if I get the next engagement, I want to find my next job. Am I growing in the right direction? Do I want to do this? your network will have a lot of spin-off benefits, which is where a mentor helps and guides you at every point of time. It's not that they'll take decisions for you, but they'll guide you in that direction, which is why having a mentor, I think, is very important, and one should identify a mentor as quickly as possible, because I think it's going to help you run on that path.
Superb, Sachin, that was fantastic. Sachin, coming to you now, tell me one thing. Have you ever taken the opportunity of mentoring somebody towards the RICS membership?
Yes, I mean, I would say now I have reached that stage and spending 15 or maybe 20 years in the industry when, yes, these young kids look up to me to be their mentors. So yes, I have done that, and I think that is important also, because then when we started with the question that is there confusion still? Yes, there is confusion, and kids are confused whether we are at the right place or not. What is the kind of growth that we can see for ourselves? Is RICS important? Is that kind of basically title to your name is important or not, or how it can help me? Where should I be? So all these questions, I mean, help them to be here, to be part of the, again I would say, the right ecosystem for them. So yes, mentoring is very, very important, I would say, and I would be happy. I mean, again, I would call out the name of Shashank, who's sitting here and had made all of us proud, and we can see him where he has been reached today. So I mean, all these things then make you proud that you were part of their journey. So therefore mentoring, yes, is important, and then kids also these days realize that they want that kind of understanding, because yes, these are very initial days for them to decide that where I want to be. It could be valuation, capital market, leasing, marketing, so where should I be, and should I be there? Should I be there, or I should look for other opportunities? So yes, I would say it is required.
That's very nice. I'll share another thing. Basically, I was probably looking at Archana's post, which was there, I think, on LinkedIn, where she mentioned about Satish, who was guiding a lot of people from his office to become, I think, RICS members. I think it was Satish also, and Amudha also. There were two posts which are so two people. So there are a lot of, you can say, people within RICS, and Satish is a very, very old hand. He is basically a person from Project and CEQS. So those are the kind of, and he probably qualified from UK itself. He is one person who's, so ages back he qualified from UK itself. So that is the kind of qualification he carries. Imagine that kind of nostalgia which comes into you, where you want to come forward and get your employees to become members of RICS. So you are trying to put in an effort to bring in more members, because you feel that there is a lot of value to that particular membership, and it improves upon the whole situation to a great extent, etc. So very nice. I think it was very good that you also posted, and I could also see. And Satish and I, we interact very frequently on a couple of status things. So we do that. So anything else that you would want to tell the younger crowd, or maybe even professionals? There are people like Dheeraj, who's been connected with RICS for ages, and they value it also tremendously. They have a lot of experience. So even for our professional friends who are there, would you want to give them some input, or how they can come forward to promote and probably bring about more value to the RICS professions and the programs?
So first of all, I think as we grow older, and I will take that liberty of saying that, a lot of my friends or my peers will not believe me and they will beat me up after this. But the thing is that we've reached a certain stage where the networks itself is actually a gold mine. And I think at that level, it will be great if the younger generation interacts with the senior generation at the earliest that they can do, the first opportunity they get, which is where I'd like to congratulate RIC especially for bringing in Matrix right now. And I think participation and engagement and involvement both from our level as well as from the kids level can increase to a much larger level, because this will actually help them take decisions in their life to much extent, because we've seen where things are going. If somebody's going in a direction, we can help them avoid the pitfalls. And we can tell them, this is a route if you want to take, this is where it is likely to lead to. And if you're interested in that path, then by all means, please full steam ahead, please go straight right away, and then work on it, and we're there to help you guide through various paths. Important thing is the networks that we have here is not just related to one vertical that we're talking about, it is all cross-verticalized. you can speak to, at one conference, you can speak to people from 30 different domains, 30 different perspectives. Everybody is seeing at varying levels of movement in organization and in the industry with different client sets, and everyone has so much to offer and contribute. So which is why I think I really thank RICS for all the events that they organize, breakfast, evenings, conferences. It allows us to speak to so many people and get guidance. I mean, it helps us engage with clients as well. It helps us engage with our profession, create new ideas and new service offerings that can help the market even better. So I think it's a great opportunity, great platform. And I'm sure I've seen everyone, they interact very heartily with all, they're there to guide a lot of people. I've seen them, I mean, Sakshi's been there, my friends, Mr. Saxena's been there, everybody's been there. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that have happened, and I think it's a great way to keep growing forward. I think that's my two pieces.
Fantastic. Sakshi, what about you?
So I would say, I mean, it gives you a lot of confidence, and you come out to be a lot more confident when you have somebody to look up to. You have seen the other person's career path, and then you are able to resonate with it. So it makes you a thorough professional. So yes, that connection, that networking will always help. So therefore, like we are talking about all the conferences, the breakfast, the other meets which RICS has been organizing, giving a platform to come together and talk about common topics, and then you have somebody to look up to and ask. If you are confused or you are not able to make appropriate decisions, you have somebody to look up to and then ask that whether I am going in that right direction or not. So all these things help you in your career as a professional also. So therefore, getting this kind of association, I would say, is highly recommended. And I would really appreciate the new initiative that has been launched, which is in the form of Matrix, which will, I'm sure, which was talking about that when you are entering into your career and you have to join an organization and you don't know what will happen to you, there can be a lot of doubts in your mind. But if you have a mentor to look up to, or you have an organization which can support you through your journey, which will be, I'm sure it will be really helpful. It was not there when I started my career, but it is now available. So if it is available, you should be part of it, I would say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One small thing that I just wanted, maybe you could call it as a personal kind of a thing. When you basically have a group of people around you, your own employees around you, and suddenly you see someone from an MRI who's basically an MRICS coming across to you, what do you think would be your reaction? I'm sorry.
Pride.
Yeah.
Full pride, because you can make up the difference when they come forward.
So it's the difference that basically comes forward. So Sakshi, I'm sure this
I
is
would say exactly same feeling that you will get.
So it's when you can say, an MRICS coming in front of you inside a group itself, obviously there is nostalgia which overtakes and you feel very, very proud about it. And I also have been very proud with all my students, a lot of the students who've been around itself. And in terms of networking, in terms of mentoring also, I think we've had a couple of lunches also, I'm sure. Mridang, I think you were there in one of the lunches which we had in Saipara. So I also make it a point to catch up with my friends over here, the young friends who are there. It's more of learning for me also. It's more of motivation for them also. And we understand, talk to them, find out what kind of nuances they are going through. If there are challenges that they are facing, we work out on those challenges, try to give them solutions. I get calls even at 11 o'clock in the night. There are people who call up. There are friends who are sitting, who are working. But tell us, see, these are the challenges. How do we come across? So we are ready to discuss. So if you are part of a community which is an RICS community, and as a professional member, you get tremendous amount of support from the institute and the people who are involved in it itself. So that's again a very, very big factor that comes across. Right? So I think we have grilled or maybe questioned or discussed more with Sachin and Sakshi. I'll just leave it as an open thing. Would you want to say anything or tell anything? Or maybe whatever comes to your mind or anything. It's just an open, I'm not putting any question on that. So whatever is coming to your mind or your feeling about RICS or anything that you want to relate.
But the stage can be made open for the questions to be answered.
Yeah, we will surely do
that.
that.
A lot
Yeah.
about
Okay.
our experience.
Okay, so if there is nothing coming across, if somebody has any questions, please, all three of us are available for any questions. So you want to understand any process, or you want to understand anything, or you want to discuss something, please come forward. Anything. Please ask. Go ahead. Any doubts? Anything that you would want to know? There is everybody around. So even if you don't want a question to be answered by three of us, there are other people also who can answer relevant questions.
Or if anybody wants to share any of their experiences, that
Yes,
how their
that's true.
journey has been. Yeah.
That's true. I remember when Shashank became a member, how excited he was. So tremendously excited when so you should bilkul please you should एक mic दे देना यार शशांक को.
Thank you so much. And like Sakshi said, I think Gaurav is also sitting next to me, and he is always very supportive. One thing I am blessed, and everyone is talking like my journey. So I think it's just a beginning for me. What I have learned so far, I keep on learning. So I'm getting mentors in a different companies, different organizations. And I think all of them are still in touch with me. Like for example, Gaurav, whenever I feel like a little low, I just send a message to him, say hi, what's up? So वो कहते हैं अच्छा अभी busy हूँ थोड़ी बात करता हूँ. So this is the kind of relationship, you know. I understand because you know he's also leading now the team here in North. So when we working together, Sakshi used to be my manager. I think she was the one who hired me as an intern. And the first day she said कि किसे पकड़ जाए. So this is how it actually started. I mean, it's when you look back, you feel like you know this is a kind of like that's how we started. But I think it's a good learning, great learning, and all thanks to Sakshi, Shweta, and Shubhendu is also sitting here. But I remember you know interacting with him, coming when he entered the office. I was like, okay. So this is my experience in last 10 years, which I lived, and I'm sure all of you are doing it right now. Talking about the RICS, yes, RICS was something. I was one of the first students like who enrolled, like Sachin sir just mentioned that RICS, I am RICS one man. So I was also very keen and passionate about getting into real estate, and I was looking for some opportunities where I can get a master's from, right? Because I met some of the leaders that time, Anuj Puri and Shuman Matrics in 2011. So that time I was exploring and then get to know that okay, RICS is setting up an institution here in India, and I was the one that okay, jab bhi khulega, I am in for it. Because I wanted to study more about real estate. So that was the journey, you know, we started, we interacted, some of the people, I remember, you know, meeting some of the leaders who are sitting there. They came as a mentor, as a guest lecturer. So like Sakshi just mentioned that, you know, you can resonate with them, right? And this is the same thing I said to Sanjay sir also. Because when I was looking into him, I was like, okay, this is the guy, you know, who's actually doing something in this organization and something for the community, right? So I think this is what everyone is living. So we have a lot of alumni. It's a very proud feeling when you go and meet someone and he say, okay, MRICS. Okay, you are also MRICS. Wow. Okay, which batch you are from, this and that, like who was your, what was your pathway? So these kind of questions come arise. And when you go a little, you know, outside India, I think this is where it actually, you know, show the power. Yes. So I was in London and, you know, I was sitting and then someone came and, oh, you are an MRICS. I checked out your profile. I was okay. So he said, I'm also an MRICS. So I think it is a global recognition. It is not just in India. There are so many colleagues of mine, so many of friends, you know, from my junior batches, those who are working in Middle East. So they are excelling in their life, right? So I remember having a batch, some of my colleagues are sitting here. So all of them are like right now, maybe in a, you know, senior management position. So they are going to be taking the senior management positions. And when I all started, I think everyone was the like same internship लगेगा नहीं लगेगा salary क्या मिलेगा. But I think this is how you grow. And अगर आप देखते हो, it doesn't matter like from where you started. It does matter that what you are doing right now. So I think सब लोग बढ़िया कर रहे हैं. And my recommendation, yes, MRICS is a great platform. And if you are not doing it, then you are losing it out. It's something like, you know, अगर आपके पास है तो आपको पता है उसकी value क्या है. Right? So this is what my take is.
Agree on it.
Yeah.
I really agree on it.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, Prashant. In fact, I would also like to mention over here, Dheeraj Dogra is here, sitting over here. I still remember, and I'm sure Archana will bear me out on it. I think Dheeraj was at one point of time, he got involved and he got a lot of members for RICS. So
about 140.
So imagine, so that was the kind of input. So that is the kind of, it basically comes from within. We have to contribute. So all of us sitting over here in this room should have that kind of feeling coming out from us, that we have to, okay, one of us goes out and gets one member or two members. Basically, we have to expand and create that network. You will suddenly find that after about a year or so, this network will become so powerful and so strong that nobody will be able to oversee and neglect that particular situation. So, any other points or anybody who can add? Yeah, sure, please.
अभी share किया with Archana as well. A lot of things I don't really don't take credit or whatever. I'm not running for that. So I happen to know the chairman of Haryana RERA.
Yeah.
Because I was also part of that interview.
I think there was this, you had also applied for the position of...
I know, I interviewed and I was the second runner-up for the chairmanship of Haryana RERA. So today I was coming and I was just remembered, so I sent him a message today to the chairman of Haryana RERA that we should have on the guidelines the way they have it in Maharashtra RERA, that they have made a certificate of competency, the minimum requirement for a channel partner to be RERA certified. So I have suggested to him that RICS will be the best option that they can have to start with for Haryana RERA. So I've just put it to him. So I mean, let's hope.
I personally feel Anupam, I can't see Anupam. He's here. कहाँ बैठे अनुपम sir? Even Anupam sir has been working on this. He's been spending a lot of time on this particular thing जो है. He has. Anupam जी, आपने थोड़ा सा इस पे तो काम किया ही है. You have actually worked on this जो है, where you have spent a lot of time for training people for RERA things and other things also.
Sir, ये trainable है ये बच्चे. कोशिश हम करते रहते हैं.
So more of learning that we should start getting into more of networking, understand, please participate in these programs. They are very, very helpful. They bring about a lot in you, and plus you will interact with a lot of people who are there from the industry. Sometimes you may find me, sometimes you will find other people also. So it's a complete whole domain and group which is available to you for networking. So if there is no questions, I think we are already above our time itself. We have overshot probably. Yeah. Ashwin, you have? Yeah. Please.
So, really want to thank both Sakshi and Sachin and obviously Satish sir for wonderful session. But I would like to just mention one thing here, that a lot of you may be candidates and would need a support, and I would like to mention here, we have an excellent candidate support team here led by Archana, if you could just come up. So any kind of support you need as a candidate. So Archana heads the entire candidate support for Asia Pacific, and she and her team are always available basically for any kind of support that you need for your progression wherever you're getting stuck. She has other team members, Aarti and Manish and all whom you would have interacted. But subsequently, we'll also organize, and some of you may have participated in some sessions organized by her team. So we would like you to be actively participating in that, and so as your progression or your journey to your assessment is very smooth as much as it can. And also, my request would be, well, there's a lot being said about the membership, but I would request here all the senior members for their support in coming up as counselors or guides, basically helping all the young members who are on their journey to become a chartered member of RICS, to help them and provide them whatever support they can, so as this journey is very smooth and seamless for them. Thank you. That's what I want to say.
All that I'll say is that I know quite a few members here have supported them when they started their journey. When I used to work, at a junior level and have grown to this position. But all I'll say is that what Ashwini mentioned, all you members have to give back to these candidates and to these students because they will be the future leaders. So we need to make sure that we have this strong future next gen. So thank you so much.
That's it. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful interaction with all of you all. A lot of learning from both Sachin and Sakshi itself. They are there in the industry. They are available in Gurgaon. They are available in the NCR area. Please make the best use in terms of discussing, talking to them, interact with them. I'm sure they'll be very helpful. Thank you. Thank you, Sachin.
Thank you so much. So may I please request Ashwini to facilitate our speakers, please.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please enjoy your networking. Thank you. Acha, iske liye. So nice. Very well thought of.
Thank you so much for joining this evening. Please join us for the drinks and dinner outside. Thank you so much.
बढ़िया सर थैंक यू सो मच सर कैसे बढ़िया सर ऑल गुड सर को पता जाके but he just did पूरा प्रोजेक्ट का रीस्ट्रक्चरिंग all of yours
got the art after